I think we are live. If anyone wants to just let me know in the comments that we are live before I carry on speaking to nobody, or my mic's not working or something. This is the Vintage Collection Show, back once again on YouTube, live with my good friend John Miko from the Vintage Collection Facebook group, and another good friend of mine, Chris, from the legendary website Bantha Skull. One half of Bantha Skull, I should say. How are you two doing, guys? You all right?
Doing good,
well.
Tim.
You know, one of these days when you do the countdown, I'm going to hide. I think that would be epic. He was there a second ago.
I'm sure somebody's done that before, actually. But yeah, good to see you guys as always, and want to thank everybody that's already turning up in the chat. Awesome to see some familiar names in there. You will have to excuse me today. I've had a long day. I've been out. I may or may not have had a couple of beers earlier, but I'm fine. I'm not, it's just a couple. But that was ages ago now. I'm absolutely fine now. Just a bit tired.
Did you see what I tweeted, Tim?
You got to keep drinking, Tim.
Yes, I did actually. Yes, very, very good, very good. I think
I missed it. What was it? What happened?
I said the word on the holonet is Tim. It might be a bit wobbly.
Oh, right. No, I'm all good. I'm all good. I'm just going to say hello to some of the people in the chat before we get going, because I want to talk to you guys about yesterday. It was yesterday, wasn't it? Pulsecon live stream, what we think of it. We're going to take a look at the reveals, have a look at them in detail, get your opinions on them. And then we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. I think a lot of people that collect the TVC aren't too happy with how that live stream went down, various elements of it, namely a poll that they decided to put out, and also just some of the language that was used throughout. But yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit. But I'm just going to say hello to some people, bring them up on the screen. We have Chris Curran, we have Neil Lowry, we have Sue, the Universal Toy Collector Sue. Chris, you might not be aware of this. So Sue, real name Stu, said that he would rename himself to Sue for a whole year on social media, on all of his social media platforms, if the ghost didn't hit the 17,000 backers and unlock Zeb. I know. Yeah, he didn't think it would, and it did. Oh. So then, yeah, so he is now called Sue to everybody that knows
he might be a Johnny Cash fan, so he might not mind that. So, boy named Sue.
Yeah. Okay, we got David Stevens, Tony Z. How you doing, buddy? We've got HK47 Resurrected. We've got Jeff Russell. We have Rocket City Sith. We have Admiral Akbarash. There's T. Phil the Force. Toys of the Jedi. Randy S. John Miko's in there. Hi there, John Miko. Justin Riley. Ovi Ban Kenobi. Adam, cheers, buddy, for coming over, helping me with my room. He helped me build some IKEA cabinets, because I'm just rubbish at that sort of thing, installing all the lights in it and everything. Yeah, so thanks, buddy. Really appreciate that. It's great to see you. Shakes the Clone, Bjorn Jorgensen, SBS Productions, Madman. We've got Anakin Crespin, Modal Nodes, Riley Bob, Paul Morales, Mary Sullivan, and loads more. They're all coming in. We've already got 133 people watching, which is awesome.
We got Mr. Mac McSwift there.
Mr. Mac McSwift. Manuel Solares.
Middle-aged Kiwi man collecting Star Wars figures.
Yeah, I wondered what you're saying.
Love the Star Wars.
I told you I'd be slow today. Nino Brown. Only One Kenobi's here. Lamar, Avery, straight out of Coruscant, and yeah, just incredible amount of people, loads of people. So awesome. So first of all, we're going to just have a quick look at the reveals. I'm going to bring them up on screen just so we can talk about them. I just want to know your thoughts on them and what have you. Let me just get one of the folders and I'll share that folder. In fact, we'll just open these. And then if I...
Chris, what are you picking?
Share screen.
Some good old quality, high quality H2O.
How about H2O?
Bobby Boucher style.
You okay? Everything all right?
There we go. There we go.
I figured one of us had to be sober, John.
Proud of you.
Right then. So first, right, we got Chopper. We finally saw Chopper. He was pipelined at the convention or whatever it was previously. Was it SDCC that he was pipelined? I can't remember now. One of their live streams or something. And then we got to see him pretty quickly. So first of all, Chris, what don't you like about this figure?
So it's stupid because I would probably, as you see him in the package, is probably how I'm going to pose him all the time. But the fact that those elbows don't articulate on the arms, it just bothers me that every other chopper has articulated elbows except for this one.
Yeah. I heard he has the Disney Droid one also has a wrist action too. Is that true?
I don't know that.
I think Lindquist, Johnny Mustache, was saying to me elbows and wrist articulation, but somebody please, I don't have that figure, so let us know.
No, I don't have it either.
I don't know if I can trust Johnny Lindquist. I can't trust a guy that wants to have Patrick tuck him in at night. Take his opinion.
A boy can dream.
And actually, John, in defense of John, he wasn't saying that. He was saying that he was playing on the collectors being so whiny that, you know, they want everything to include Patrick coming to their house and tucking him in at night.
That's hilarious.
I'll tell you what I did like about it. I did love the fact that the head tilted. I thought that was a really smart move.
Cool. Yeah.
And that really sort of brings out, you know, some of the character of the character. You know, it's a classic thing for him. But yeah, it was about, you know, we're talking, you know, I think we talked about after this was pipelined, and we were saying, you know, let's hope that it does do all that, and sure enough, it doesn't, which is a bit of a shame. And the fact that there is a 3.75 inch version of it out there that does do that, it just makes it even a bit more disappointing, really, doesn't it? But apart from that, I think it looks all right. I mean, it looks pretty cool. It'll look good on the shelf and everything. But as you say, you really want to be able to do all of those poses, you know.
I ordered a case of them, so I can't be that disappointed. Lack of articulation in the elbows. Yeah. If I really like something, I get a case of it.
I hear you.
Gives me a lot of room for breakage and crushed bubbles and all that stuff.
Yeah, one of the photos, Tim has the body arm there, utility arm coming out too.
Let me have a look.
I think it's number 5.
That one.
Yeah, you can see it there too. So that's articulated too, and it looks like the wheel, his middle wheel there, whatever his middle leg, has a turning wheel as well.
Yeah, and again, people have to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty sure the Disney Parks one comes with an interchangeable leg, doesn't it? So you can change it from the wheel to his little rocket booster. You don't get any rocket, like, you know, flame effects, but you do get the booster instead. So you can change it up with the wheel. So that's nothing that's missing with this one. I mean, I'd much rather that than like the tracking thing, tiny little thing that, you know, or even the changeable thing, you know. I think I said in my video that, you know, they're obviously packing those things in to make it seem like it's worth more money than it actually is, you know, because it's a small,
to fill out the bubble.
Yeah, it's a small figure, isn't it? So, yeah. Have we got some hiss going on? Who's mics?
I'll mute me. Oh, that's Chris.
It's me doing it.
Yeah, Chris, that is terrible. That is
okay. Well, hey, it's been fun, guys. I actually don't know what to do.
It's fine. It's fine. We can live with it, man. Don't worry. Okay. Don't worry. It's only occasional. It's fine.
Because I can go watch, you know, Colorado get boat raced by Oregon right now.
Dion.
Is that an American football match? Is it or?
Yeah, college.
Right.
Yeah, college football.
Is that Sanders' team?
Yeah.
Nice.
And Sanders' team, and he's got 2 kids on the team too.
That's right. Dion, baby.
Coach Prime. It's Coach Prime to you.
Prime.
But yeah, I mean, obviously we're glad to have this. Chris, you're in general, you're not really like you weren't really too bothered about getting the Rebels figures, were you? I think it's just the fact that we're getting the Ghost that makes you want those figures, right? You weren't too bothered about them beforehand. Is that right?
I thought you had it backwards because that is right. Yeah, bothered as if I wasn't concerned about getting them. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to translate across the pond. Yeah, I could have cared less about getting the Ghost figures, to be honest with you, or even the Ghost.
Right.
But I was happy to. I knew the community wanted it, so I'm not upset whenever I know something will do good for the community. So I hope I did my part along with everybody else here promoting it. But it wasn't something I particularly cared about. Of all of them, though, the one character I do like from Rebels above the rest is Chopper. So I'm happy to get that because he's grumpy like me.
Yeah, Emily did a pretty good impression too during the Pulsecon. So
was that her?
Shout out to her. I think it was. Yeah.
For a split second, when they did the pipelines yesterday, when they said about the Kestis figure, I thought they said Callas, and I thought, great, more Rebels characters. And then I was like, no.
That should be an easy one too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an overlay and a new head.
Mm.
Tim, can you highlight fellow figure collectors' comment at 5:08 p.m., please?
I can. Hang on a second.
No, we don't.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong, right? It's take what we can get, but at the same time, when we're sitting here talking about what TVC as an expression means to us, right? It's it goes along with these are premium. It's a premium line, premium figures. That means premium deco, premium sculpting, and premium articulation. That's warranted for what the figure does. Let's put it that way, right? Because I think we do err on the side of caution that we want. I think at least. Well, I don't know how it translates to a droid, but I think the minimum standard, Chris, you and I have talked about this, is 14 points of articulation.
Yep.
We shouldn't get anything less than that. And, a droid that, again, has arms should have premium articulation in those arms as well. And we'll talk to Mr. Huyang as well, because I have some gripes on him too, even though I'm very excited for him. But I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, if prices keep going up, costs keep going up, and then our prices keep going up, I would expect the line to keep what the expression has stood for.
It feels like we're in the vice that we were in 2014. Where price was going up and quality was going down. And we know what happened right after that. That's when we got that awful Rex that was repacked and everybody had a fit about it. That Rex was a regression from previous Clone Troopers that came out in the Black Series 3 3/4 inch line on the TIE Fighter card. And I mean, that to me, that what was one of many things that just started pushing 3 3/4 inch collectors out the door. And I feel like we're in that vice again right now.
Yeah, I got to say, Chris, I do agree. And again, we talked about this privately in the past, and I didn't want to sort of believe it, but I do think that 2020 was the real low, like in terms of TVC, like real low, and then we've been steadily climbing up and up and up and up, seeing some really cool stuff with more stuff, and then I just think it's starting to do that again. And I when you look at 8D8 and you start hearing them, we to save money, or at first they said, the joints are too small, and we knew that was not the case because they've done figures previously that have that elbow IG 11, and it's. I am getting to that point where I'm a little bit worried. You've got 8D8. You've got what other ones? You've got Huyang, which we'll come to. You've got this Chopper here, which, as you say, this figure is going to cost the same as the Grand Inquisitor that's coming out, which is going to be all newly tooled, like every piece of articulation you can possibly want, no doubt. This figure is going to be the same price as that.
Right.
As you say, you've got to sort of expect those standards. And when there's a Disney Parks droid that already does that, then to me that's not a good thing. It's not a good look. And I am starting to worry, looking at some of the pipelines. There seems to be a bit of a theme going on.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The pipelines are what's really concerning me. We don't have a little, we have a lot of pipelines that have, I mean, what do we know that's been pipeline hasn't been revealed? I think there's got to be a good 10 figures at least.
Yeah.
Only 2 of them are newly tooled.
Leia and Dooku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Chopper was one of them, but he's been revealed.
Oh, right.
So, but other ones that haven't been revealed, there's no new tooling there, and it's very concerning to me.
I was kind of hoping that R2-D2 was going to be newly tooled.
We don't know yet, do we?
No. It was a weird sort of sentence that she said with that, didn't she?
What did she say?
It follows the Stormtrooper. So she really
Yeah.
emphasized refresh of the Stormtrooper, but I don't think she says Emily says anything about R2-D2.
Yeah.
I played it back a couple times. I don't think there's any statement on R2-D2.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And just to speak to, I know, right, there's this budget that we have. Some of that budget obviously goes to vehicles, play sets, and then the figures, right? And they're trying to give us as much as possible with that budget. But I think, Chris, you've said this before too. I'm willing to wait a little longer for certain things. I'm not saying I'd wait for Chopper so he could have elbows and wrists. You know what I mean? But I think at times it's obviously it's detrimental to the success of the line where we're getting things that we wouldn't be as excited for and wouldn't buy as many in certain situations.
And a lot of these things, do they need to be in mainline? It's going to water down what the vintage collection is if it's on a single. All these Mando repaints, that's tailor made for a troop builder pack. Just put them in there. We don't need numbered mainline figures for all these characters. The Judge, I mean, who is is that the one from the spitball fight between Grogu and Baby Paz?
Yeah,
I
mean, huge character.
Yeah, we're getting that on a card. Good Lord.
I know.
Yeah.
Rather have the chieftain, the Tuscan chieftain on a single card, and bury the Judge in an army troop builder pack.
And you know what? A couple of people said in my comments or whatever, saying, but the Black Series, and I hate comparing to the Black Series. We always bring it up, but at the end of the day, that's we have to compare to what one scale's getting and the other's not. So I apologize if there's any Black Series collectors in the chat. You might collect them both, and you think that we're just moaning about it, but we're just trying to get our fair slice of the pie, basically, for the thing that we collect. And they were saying, the Black Series pipelines are trash, And when I looked at them, I thought, I if I collected that scale, I would not be happy with them. But I think the difference is that with the Black Series, they kind of have to pipeline things like that because they get so many new media characters that they can't pipeline those because they can't give away what they are. Do you know what I mean? So it's like
just the Ahsoka reveals, I think, equals the new tooling budget for TVC for a year. For just for Ahsoka, exclude everything else. And that it seems all the Balin, Shin, they got Huyang, they got who else did they Marek. I mean, like I said, we know of two future newly tooled figures. That's 5 right there for Black Series.
Yeah, I mean, if I think they were like pipelining some like what's that line called where they
Archive.
yeah, they often do that, don't they? Pipeline
Yeah.
archive figures, you know. And if I collected that scale, I would really not be happy with that. But as I say, you know, they can't sort of pipe, you know, it's like so much of the Black Series is new media stuff that they can't pipeline that. So that's immediately out of the window already. So they kind of are left with like refreshes, repacks, and things like that to sort of pipeline without spoiling anything, basically. So you know, and then you know, I think I mentioned in my video about it, it's like if the vintage collection doesn't get all of these, you know, if they think that the difference between the two scales is like, you know, that's the new media scale and we're like the sort of more OT centric or whatever you want to, however you want to put it, you know, where's the investment in the newly tooled figures for that part of it? I just don't see it happening. Okay, we're getting Leia, great. But, you know, you're sort of picking these things out one by one, aren't you? There isn't like a, you know.
It was Lando 2 years ago, right? The Imperial Officer Buck last year, and now Leia, or this year, and then now Leia next year.
Yeah.
3.
That's it. Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like,
I mean, you kind of get the Vader, but that was, you know, repurposing of the Dark Times. So, you know, splitting hairs a little bit. I mean, that's a great OT edition. So, yeah, but it's just not. It's not a lot. If we're tilting that way, we're not seeing it.
Yeah, or you know, they often mention like background characters, weird. They say, oh, weird aliens and stuff like. We never get any of those. So okay, with the 4-pack, brilliant 4-pack Velkan. Obviously, John, you've extremely, you know, but they are, you know, I don't really care how they get those figures out if they're accurate, and I think they're accurate enough. All of those that are in there. But obviously, there's lots of figures that we do want that can't be kit bashed, and we just need new tooling for, and we're just not getting them. So.
I think we can. The ship has sailed on backgrounders.
Yeah.
I mean that set didn't perform well. Just from my observation, that would have had to have sold out and gone into another production for it to be considered a success, and it's still not sold out. I don't think we're going to see this stuff coming down the line again, unfortunately. And we can gripe about it, but we didn't support the community as a whole. Didn't support. It's not what our corner of the market wants right now.
And it's interesting, right? Because I know, you know, we've talked about the barometer of how Hasbro Pulse sells out of things, right? Like Revan and I think Thrawn like sold out instantly on. So this was exclusive to Pulse. You know, the Emperor's Throne was exclusive to Pulse. I know it was a con exclusive, so they probably made more of that one. But a lot of those types of things, even the Luke Jedi Destiny 3-pack, sat there for a while. A lot of the con actually items sit there for a while. Chrysanthemum's still sitting there. Now it's at EE. So
Chrysanthemum
will
be the next Pulse sale, Pulse Day sale.
Power days or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, you know, my one concern there is the 3-pack, the one with Vizam, Vidane, and Brock Starsher. That one went into a second run.
Right.
Now, okay, there's no humans there. The price point was less at that time. I know it's a 3-pack versus a 4-pack.
There's no figure in there that people already have. I mean, Starsher and Vism were harder to find, you know,
Black Series
figures.
Yeah.
We got Rees in this one, which we just got. Most people that are going to buy this probably have it twice already.
Right. I mean, Vizam was pretty cheap. It was Brock that was pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. So it's strange. It is strange to me in some ways. If you put that aside, would it have done better if it was also a fan channel option? And these things never show up on Shop Disney for some reason. And the other thing too is it was priced out at more than a mainline figure when you broke it down, right? It was a little more. It was like 50 cents more per figure. And I think people were, of course, the community was freaking out about that. 1847 per figure. Oh my God. But anyways, it's just, it's sad to see that was out there for so long, not sold out. And what does that mean for the future of something like a Hammerhead or, some of those other iconic figures from the original trilogy? Does it mean
Well,
we have to wait for a Cantina or something to see them?
I hope Hasbro knows the huge difference between Hammerhead and a character like Velkin, who we all here know, but most people don't know. Everyone knows Hammerhead. Everybody, most people from that were collecting the Kenner line had Hammerhead, so
right.
That one's going to have a much bigger pull than the guy that shot Luke and the last guy left from the prisoner skiff.
Yeah. It is a shame that they lock that away on Pulse, because you're obviously the United States market is the biggest market by far, but all the other markets around the world that just don't have access to Pulse can't buy that. So you're just you're immediately cutting some of your profits away by not offering it to fan channels or what have you.
Yeah. And I will say the timing here has been terrible. By the way, it's available for pre-order again. So if anyone
I was just checking that right now,
wants another set, go get it. Because it came up in my Facebook feed for Hasbro Pulse, like buy this. And I was like, oh, it's available again. Because people are probably canceling either their second set or however many extra sets they got, because we got the literally in the last 2 weeks, we've paid for the Ghost, we've gotten the N1, and we've gotten our throne rooms. And I got my notice, prepare, this is preparing to ship for those figures. So the timing of all this stuff is not doing the line any justice as well, because people are having to pick and choose or scale back.
And also this guy, the Rees, I've seen him on Facebook groups. I think the lowest I saw him was £13 posted, which is basically £2 postage, £11 for the figure, which is what, $14. That's how much someone wanted for it, because they couldn't, because so many people are selling them, because they've already got him from the Venture playset, Jabba's Throne Venture playset thing, Jabba's Palace.
And he goes back to what we were just talking about before with the Black Series 3.75 line was scaling back. He doesn't even have articulated ankles. Yeah.
No, he doesn't know.
And that's what killed me, because I wrote about with 88. When you think of, like, when I have a picture of Reeves in my head, it's him like leaning over the Sarlacc pit, and you can't do that. You can have knees, you can't get that crouch leaned over without ankles.
He does that weird thing, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we went off on a little bit about something else there, but that's fine, because this is what we're talking. We want to talk about everything that affects the vintage collection, and the price of that 4-pack. I remember when it was announced, a lot of people balked at the price, and the fact that it's got Rees in it was an immediate like, oh, why is Rees in it? Couldn't you have put in X figure or whatever? And as we've seen with the HK-47 droid, that would suggest that they do have access to at least some of the Legacy Collection molds, tooling, or whatever. So why not put in Jiran or something? I don't know.
Was HK-47 ever packed forward?
No.
Okay.
No. So it's the first Legacy Collection tooling that was not part of TVC 1.0 that we've gotten in TVC 2.0. It's the first time it's happened.
There's hope.
But it's hope, but it does get to Tim's point. It's they love their repacks. Who wouldn't? I wouldn't begrudge them if they can get away with a repack. But why are they repacking stuff like Finn that no one asked for? No one on the planet asked. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say no one. I know some carded fanatics want Finn on a Rise of Skywalker card. I would say that the same card for fanatics that said they wanted Jin and Rey and Kylo Ren on a Vintage Collection card, and they almost sank this thing before it started in 2018. Those people were out there, and they were being vocal about it. But so nobody wanted. People are clamoring for those hard to get TLC figures like Herchek Calfast, Giron, Nysad. You know, if you gotta do repacks, so the fact that they now have that, it kind of confirms they now have access to them. And I didn't think I was for sure they didn't have access. I've been actually hearing about HK47 for 2 years coming back out. I've been hearing rumors about it, and the fact that it came out just as HK87 got announced, I'm like, oh, they must be reusing those tooling. But it was just a coincidence, and lo and behold, they have it.
Wasn't R2 that was on the Star Wars card a Build-A-Droid?
The one that's really rare now?
Yeah. The one that came out with the one that came with Luke Crate and the.
Well, they definitely had the Build-A-Droid and stuff in TVC1. But
2 seconds. I just want to say thanks to Jason for the super chat. But Tim has to either smash another beer or say he wants Ponkrell in TVC.
For $5 New Zealand dollars.
I'll tell you what. I'll make a deal with you, right? In the Ahsoka show, we have a flashback to more live-action Clone Wars with Ponkrell, and then I'll want him in the line. There you go.
So you're right, John. That one is the bad mold.
Yeah. So was that? I unfortunately didn't. I only collected a few of the legacy figures when that line was going on. Was that was a legacy collection Build-A-Droid figure, and I'm assuming, I mean, that one probably did come out again.
Yeah, it did. R5D4 was uses the bad. The Vintage Collection R5D4 uses the bad parts.
Yeah,
Build-A-Droid parts. I shouldn't say the.
That's right. The 3-pack one's different. Yeah.
Sorry. So the VC, is it VC 149, the one the oily R2?
Yeah.
What is that a reuse of something else, or
it's the Build-A-Droid.
It is the Build-A-Droid one. Right?
Yeah,
okay.
I've got it in 4 parts. Right. I risked it for you guys, pulling apart my figure to confirm that.
Yeah, I know some people like that. I mean, to be honest, I don't really think any of the R2s that we've got are perfect by any means. I think that's probably the best of them.
Yeah,
but
I
when
like that
when they pipelined R2, I was hoping that was going to be new, because then they could do, that could be the start of something like they've done with the Officer Sculpt. They could then go, let's make, there's loads of droids, isn't there, that have been in live action. You've got the one in The Mandalorian, Grief Karga's. Is it Grief? Yeah, Grief Karga's droid. That's a cool droid. I think that was pipelined in the Black Series. I can't remember now, but I swear I've seen that somewhere. So, just things like that would be nice if it was based on a newer mold, but.
Yeah, and the Black Series one's just so. I mean, it's just so nice. Love to have a scaled down version of that for sure.
Is it got bigger though, nice. Right? Didn't it get bigger?
Yeah. A lot of people are saying it's out of scale.
A lot bigger.
Yeah, I thought the original one was too big, if I remember correctly, and then it got even bigger.
I don't know.
I saw a picture of it up against the waist of like a Luke. Luke, one of the Luke Skywalkers. Yeah. Empire Strikes Back Luke Skywalker. And then they put the scene from the film of where it should be, and and it's not the correct scale still. So unlucky.
Nipple high R2.
Right, let's move on quickly to Director Krennic, because this was an interesting one for me. I've been wanting to know what they were going to do for this figure for ages. I'm always a fan of soft goods. Ideally, I did think about the collar on that cloak. It is a bit different how they would actually sort of execute that, and sure enough, they haven't been able to do it in soft goods. So how are you feeling about this one, Chris?
Oh, I hate plastic molded capes. I don't care. I'd rather have a slightly less accurate cape. But they could have done a hybrid material. They could have done a plastic collar and then a soft goods cape. If you go down to the fourth picture on your screen there, I mean, it's almost becomes indecipherable from the 5 POA figure when he has that, plastic coffin around him.
The fact that he's just got his elbows bent there is pretty much the difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
We were this close.
Yeah.
And people are saying it's the 5 POA cloak there and weapon possibly.
Oh, wow.
Being reused. I don't. People are pretty confident in that. That's a reuse of the 5 POA cloak. I think the likeness is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hair. Some people are saying the hair is a little too dark, and I kind of agree with that. Should be more salt and peppery. But it's a pretty good Ben Mendelsohn.
It'd be nice to get an alternate version at some point with a hat on.
I was just about to say it's missing the cap.
Be cool to get that,
So maybe I don't know. The hair's a little bit bigger than other figures that have got caps, haven't they? I think. Those officers that we've got seem to have almost quite a smooth, like they do have a hair piece, but it's quite smooth, I think, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I'm looking at Georgia Rod right now.
With a capital J in the middle. Yeah.
Somebody must have stuttered when they were telling them what to put on the card. Gerard. Capital J in there.
Oh man, it's hard to sort of hate on this figure because I've wanted Krennic so long, and it's finally. I love Rogue One, and I love getting Rogue One figures. I would love more Rogue One figures. There's we could list so many that would be cool in the line, from some of the weird aliens that are in it, Pow and the Monkey Man, and obviously the rest of the crew, Bodhi and Aze,
Melshi and all them.
Yeah. There's so many that I'd like from Rogue One, so it's good.
Yeah.
It's good to get another Rogue One figure, basically, but easy one for them to do.
Bring on Dryden Vos. More main bad guys.
John, if you want Dryden Vos, just go get the Black Series 1 on Amazon right now for like $9. I can guarantee
sprinkle some shrinking dust on it.
Yeah. If it pegworms in Black Series, it's going to pegworm in Vintage Collection. Do you want Vice Admiral Haldo too while you're at it? Do you want that coming to Vintage Collection?
Hey,
I'm the spy.
There's people out there that have got that figure in their top 25, Chris. So
I know. Meanwhile, you go to Ollie's and buy them for bricks and make a house out of them if you wanted to.
Joking. I was just joking.
I quite like the fact that he said that they put the weapon in the holster the other way round because he's left-handed, which I thought was pretty cool. Whereas I can't actually remember the film if he draws it like that or not. But I thought that was a pretty cool thing they said. But
yeah, I just want to mention Dystopian Playgrounds. I know some of you actually do your little Beetlejuice shrinking potions, because one of my customizing buddies, Christopher Herman, shout out to him. He can literally take a Black Series head, and he's got some process out there where he can shrink it down to a 3 3/4 inch head. It's absolutely amazing. So you guys are pretty amazing.
When in reality, what they want to do, because really they should be upscaling the Vintage Collection heads because they tend to be better, don't they?
Yeah, for a lot of them.
They're certainly less sweaty than the Black Series.
Sweaty.
Shin. I'm not. I want Shin in the line, but man, yeah.
Why are the heads sweaty? Why are they sweaty? Shout out, Fly Guy.
Oh dear. So yeah, that's Krennic. Not really much else to say about him. He look, it's I think as soon as we got the officer sculpt done with Piet, we kind of knew that this guy would be on the cards. So glad he's been done. But as I say, I'm with you, Chris. I would have preferred a soft goods cape. But what can you do?
It looks great though.
Yeah, let me just
one thing to mention there too, really quick. It seems like I'm not going to nitpick too much about the holster, but it seems like these like big bulky holsters are coming back too. What's going on with that? There's like a theme here with bulky holsters and articulation that is not thick enough to put joints on, which we used to get in the past. We used to get pretty more truer scaled holsters and more articulation with thinner walls. So I don't know what's going on here. Is it a cost cutting measure, or I don't know. What do you get?
It's feeling like 2013, 2014 again. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Are they not prototyping enough with, oversized helmets and oversized, just going with run one?
The thicker walls thing comes up a lot, doesn't it? Whereas we've seen, so for example, with the cap on
yes,
Piet and you know, people aren't happy with that cap, and they're like, well, it's unfortunately we couldn't make it any smaller because of thickness of walls and all this. But then if you look at what's the Legacy Collection one, that cap is super thin, and it seems to be all right. So if they've done it in the past, I just don't really understand what's changed, Can
I throw out a half-cock theory?
Please.
That has no basis in information whatsoever, but I'm wondering if it has to do with the factories where they just don't want to bother with they're the ones saying, like, if you want us to do it, this has to be the minimum thickness because we're not going to bother with this. And from the part I have heard that's true is that there's competition for the factories now, where it's not like before, where they actually have to compete and bid for the factory time. So maybe the factories are saying, we'll do these jobs. All the hard jobs, we're not doing them anymore. Maybe those thin, wall thickness figures were hard jobs. They're only trying to take the easier jobs now, just as a out of left field theory.
I like it.
Doesn't do us any favors, though, does it?
Nothing does. No. I mean, to me, a lot of the stuff we're upset about it. A lot of it's just a lot of it is what it is stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. The market's not there for this stuff, and as we're seeing with the Jabba's 4-pack, and nothing we could do about it. What's going on with Oregon? I saw that come up in the chat. Oh, 35-0. Yeah.
I just saw someone post Director Krennic. That'd be a great misspelling.
Dr. Dre.
I was just gonna say, put him next to one of your Dre customs. Today was a good day.
All right, let me just share the next one. Let's get this one up. That's what she said.
Get those numbers up, Tim.
Huyang. Is that his name?
I believe so.
I saying it wrong.
Huyang. So it's been a while since I've watched was he in the clone? Like, he's probably in it loads, wasn't he, or something? And I just sort of don't remember it. But
yeah.
He
did the whole arc with the younglings getting their lightsabers constructed.
Yeah, the little Wookiee Jedi there, and all them little Padawans. Yeah.
That might have been one of the ones where I fell asleep. I tend to watch the. No, seriously, I used to watch like an episode or two of the Clone Wars, right? While I'm and unfortunately I'd fall asleep to it, and then I'd wake up and I'd go, oh no, I've missed it, and then I'd forget which one I'd watch, because with Disney Plus it like sometimes carries on to the next one automatically, or especially on a DVD it used to do that. It's like sometimes I'd wake up and go, oh, I've missed 4 episodes, and then I just maybe couldn't be bothered to go back, but. I think I did that quite a few times with the Clone Wars, but he's a good character in Ahsoka and everything. But yeah, John, you were going to say something about. I know what you're going to say about this, but you go ahead, take the floor.
Well, I know this. Obviously, this is like a prototype. I hope there's more wash on him. Like, you can see his biceps. There's all these mechanical parts in there and droid parts. I hope that it's all weathered. But yeah, he comes with 2 backpacks, and one of them's pre-posed with bent arms. It's like, come on, the Black Series, good. Again, I'm thrilled about some more droids and new droids. Like, that's great. But again, this is an expression that should be, premium, and I want that level articulation that the Black Series one has to a certain degree, and that means the backpack should be, his arms on his backpack should be posable.
Yeah. Well, you just wait until they use it for Miggs Mayfeld. So,
yeah. Exactly.
I showed it over here. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. At the time when they said, "Oh, it's got a changeable backpack," I thought, "Oh, that's nice. That's good that they've included that." But then when you take it, just take it that step further, make it even cooler. But
can I have an unpopular take on this?
Yeah.
I was like, first, I'm excited about getting this before Balin or Shin.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, what are they thinking? Where's the play? I know, it's an adult collector line. We don't play, but we do play in the sense that we interact our figures. We've got Ahsoka and Sabine. Where's the 2 bad guys for them? I mean, that used to be a staple of lines. It was you get the bad guys out, and we've got Morgan Elsbeth, who with no accessories coming. Who maybe she'll do something fantastic in the last 2 episodes, but is basically just
That's the only villain they've showed so far from Ahsoka.
Yeah. For the vintage collection.
Yeah.
Morgan Elsbeth, I guarantee you she's not going to sell. I actually don't think this is going to sell that well. I think everybody here is excited about it, but as I keep cautioning people, our circle isn't enough to support the line. So we get confused that the hardcore set will like, oh, this is awesome, and we think we project out to the customer base at large. We don't. I don't think he's going to sell. This should have been a figure with a lightsaber in the bubble, with a red. I think they're red. I know a lot of people say they're orange. Whatever you want. It should have been one of the figures with the red or orange lightsabers in the bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, Balin.
The moment I saw the trailer, that's the figure I wanted. And he it's such a shame that the actor's passed away.
Yeah,
I know.
Because I wouldn't say he's single-handedly propping up the show. I wouldn't go that far, because I am enjoying it overall. But if he wasn't in it, then it would be completely different for me, I think. Like he is for me, he's the best thing about it. Just the way he delivers his lines, just the strength of the performance, the character's cool, and that is the one that I wanted the most in the vintage collection. And it just as you say, it's just bizarre. Like, why would you put that figure out ahead? Why would you put Morgan Elsbeth, which is newly tooled, right?
I don't know. I try to look. I can't see rocker ankles on her. I'm not sure.
Yes, I'm not saying fully what they've used, but
I'm not saying she doesn't have them.
Is she a partial tool?
Yeah, I'm just saying I haven't spotted them, but it just all I can think of is Peter McNichol's character from Ghostbusters 2 when they were doing their art, and he goes, "I just want to tell you, everything you're doing is terrible." That's what he says to somebody. And that's what I want to say to like the person that's picking the slots for the vintage collection right now. Like, you're doing terrible. These are like, you have no connection with the community if you watch that trailer and went Morgan Elsbeth, Huyang, figures ahead of Balin and Shin.
Yeah,
you had to know that's what the community would go nuts about. Like I said, maybe Morgan Elsbeth will do something spectacular. I mean, we won't have the accessories to create it when we get the figure, but maybe she'll do something spectacular in the next 2 episodes. So her green Night Sister magic will be all over the screen. She'll be like 11, the magic hands of 11 in Stranger Things.
I mean, I don't know how much of the show that they, how much of it they got to see, beforehand, but at least maybe the map ball thing, as an accessory, that would have been a good accessory for her. But
right.
They may not have. I don't know. They might not have had that info at that level of detail. I don't know, but I just want to say thanks to Noel for the super chat, and he says, "Why doesn't Hasbro make Jedi starships?" So are you talking about like Obi-Wan's and ones from Revenge of the Sith, or are you talking about specifically Ahsoka's one? That's a Jedi starship, isn't it? Was it a T-16 or something like that? I don't know.
T6, I think.
T6, yeah. Anyone want to answer that for Noel?
I don't know. I mean, I wrote an article on that saying like if there's one vehicle I would predict to back up the success of the N1, it would be Anakin's yellow Jedi Starfighter from the opening of Revenge of the Sith with an all-new Episode 3 Anakin, either out at the same time. To me, it just obviously the N1 is an incredible success. What could repeat that? And it wouldn't be my first choice, but I think and it's a work of art. Kudos to the team on that. I'm actually going to buy another one just because I don't need it. But I'm going to buy another one just to have of that once they become available again. But yeah, to me, it's you got a main character and his ship together in the package. That's one of the big selling points of that N1. My card isn't perfect that I got out of mine.
Mine isn't either, bro.
Man.
Corner here, the top left corner got.
Oh no!
Right. Opener. It's all right. I'm still sleeping at night. It's okay.
Let me just see if I can go take a look at some more of these pictures here. So, some people are saying these are the wrong color as well. I mean, again, when people say these things, I don't then go and check. I'll wait until the next episode. But people are saying that in the show he's chrome. I can't remember if he is or not. But in this, he's looking like a sort of like a tan color, isn't he? So
yeah, I'll just say, right. They said he is a very early version of him. So
they have time to. Yeah, they have time to correct him if that's what needs. If it's just paint apps, maybe I don't know. But right, let's stop sharing that for the moment because we've had enough of him. Then the other thing that we got was the Jedi Revan and HK-47. Now, to me, as these gaming figures and EU figures, it's not a massive thing that I'm massively into. I've got to admit, in my want list, those sorts of characters are quite low down because ultimately I want the ones from live action films and the missing characters that I don't have, plus ones that I think need to be redone because we just don't have a definitive version of them, like the heroes and what have you. So I'm really pleased because I know Revan is a massively popular character for people, and I believe the mainline Revan was the #1 selling figure on Amazon for a while, wasn't it, Chris? Is that right? Was Revan one of those? Or...
he might. I know Darth Vader. The Episode 6 Darth Vader was. That's the only one I can confirm for a fact was #1 for a little window there. But I mean, he sold out. Revan sold out, so I have to imagine he's up there on Amazon.
I'm pretty sure someone showed me that Revan was for a time the best seller on Amazon. Pretty sure he was. So, I mean, is that something that you would have wanted, Chris, over? I don't know.
Well, there's no new tooling. There's no new tooling there. So
no, I mean the original one to begin with. The one, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that Revan had to come out, as you said, hugely popular character. Is it my personal first choice? It's up there. I mean, I love Knights of the Old Republic, but it's just good for the line. It's a good seller, So anything that's a good seller, I want in the line. And I hope Randy is still on. Randy S is still on because he stole my Build-A-Droid HK-47. Stole it by paying me cash for it and taking it from me. And I had never replaced it. So I am so thrilled that a better version of that HK-47, that same mold is coming out with better paint apps. Randy's still there. Thief. How dare he give me hard-earned money for my figures?
He's quite hard to get hold of now, isn't he? To to get all the parts.
Yeah, I'm missing I think I'm missing one leg to make a second to make another one, and every time I see it, it's like $40 for whenever I happen to see it, it's like $40 for that one part.
Do you remember which figures they came with in the Legacy collection?
Oh yeah,
I might have some parts.
That was the Attack of the Clone wave at the end of the blue card, Legacy collection, which is just a hard wave to get. I mean, that's the Owen and Beru and concept
Owen,
concept Anakin. I'll never pronounce Gone is the last part of the Jedi. That's God, I'm fumbling. Can you tell I'm tired? I can't think of my words. Torado's gone. The Jedi there, and Captain Panaka. So it was a tough wave to find. So naturally the building, and it was cruel too. They should have married those figures a little closer to the source. The builder figures a little closer to the source.
Yeah.
People that buy an Attack.
I don't think I've got any of those figures actually. And the Owens one that I've always, once the Obi-Wan series happened, I looked back and thought, right, he was probably the closest thing. I think there was one in a comic pack as well, which was a pretty good, a New Hope version, I think.
Yeah, it took that. It's not quite a New Hope version. It's kind of in between the two. The one with the mechanical Darth Maul. That comic pack, yeah. Yeah.
So, and again, this has already been, it had already been pipelined that, so we knew it was coming. But yeah, I think a lot of people are talking about these 2-packs as a way of Hasbro just selling $20 TVC figures, which is a bit of a $39.99. I think they are for these 2-packs.
Yeah. People are complaining with a 15-year-old figure in there for $39.99.
Yeah, you can understand it, can't you? Because essentially, if they release them singly somehow, then they'd be $16.99. So you're paying that extra bit for an outer box, which carded collectors aren't really going to be bothered with because they're going to take the 2 out and keep them cut.
It might help protect those card backs.
Yeah,
damage.
That is something. Yeah, that is. But yeah, shouldn't really want to be relying on that, really, though, should we?
Right. Yep.
But
I'm broke. Somebody just said I'm broke. Can I just show my sign?
It's all Patrick's fault.
Yeah, I mean, and we sort of moan about a lot, but there has been some cool stuff this year. There really has. But I think what we're going to talk about now is the future. And as I said earlier, looking at those pipelines, it is a little bit worrying. I've got to say, there just seems to be some lazy things in there, which I personally don't think like that Cal Kestis. Who wants that? I mean, really, do you know you do not?
Nerd.
Oh yeah, I was going to write an article about it. I actually screen print. I played through Fallen Order again just so I could get a screen print of it.
And here's me sitting here thinking you're going to back me up.
Tim, we got to put away our Nintendo 64s and our Contras, okay, and play the updated new consoles with Jedi Survivor and
Andrew Cooks put the Cal was random as hell. It was. It is just so easy for them to do. It's like
that's why he's being done. We don't know his main. We don't know his main line. Probably is. We don't know his main line. And if it's a store exclusive somewhere, it's not hurting anyone. Let me have my ISB Cal. Come on.
People are saying
stop being so stingy.
He's got the 2 cylinders and a single rank badge, which could lead to some other OT Imperials, which I'm not nerd enough to remember their names. So
I'm just putting out there. I would have preferred Fallen Order Cal Kestis.
Yeah, but that would have been all new tooling. You can't do that. You can't do that game. That would have been you got to take out a swap it for another new head on an existing figure.
You're sounding like Hasbro now, Chris. I've got to swap. Would you want this or do you want this?
But that's the reality.
I know. I know.
You can't
Chris
say
has
like
bent the knee.
no. If it's a little bit when we do this, hey, take out that repack and replace it with the Duotin from the Mad Maz's Castle. Okay, it's like saying like, yeah, I don't want that Chevy over there. I'll take that Ferrari. Swap it for that Ferrari, and then we'll be good. We got a deal. You got to be a little fair sometimes.
No, I know. But yeah, the pipe. Who else is in that pipeline? So it was Cal, and who is the other one?
The judge.
The judge.
Here come the judge.
Oh my god. Just oh my god.
And
then what?
The Clone 4-pack.
Yeah, and what do you think about that Clone 4-pack? Because I'm never going to moan about a Clone 4-pack. I do, I love the clones, and I that is definitely the way they should be doing them in those 4-packs to get as many of those out.
Victoria,
but the way they split those out up is a bit weird. If they are going by the images that they gave, so what was that? 2 regular phase 2 clones? Was that? Are they regular ones, or did they have like a bit of?
I think they're the gray.
Yeah, the Coruscant.
Yeah.
They were the Coruscant ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got a 332nd.
Yeah, and a 332nd. Yeah, and a 501st.
And what's the other one?
Looked like a 501st to me.
A 501st.
Which you have the ratios wrong. I mean, it should have been 2. If you're going to do that, 2 501st and 1 of the other. I actually don't like the 332nd being in there because that's the one I want the least of. I don't like it coming in the same ratio as the 501st. But if you're forcing that, it should have been 2 501st, 1 Coruscant 41st Elite, and then 1 332nd. Yeah. But at least there's no officers in there.
They could
no commanders or anything like that. So you can army build.
No name character. Yeah.
They could have did it right, like we're saying here, with just 3 troop builder sets of each one of those in a solid form.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Victoria was griping about this last night when I was on her social hour, and well said.
The 332nd, we haven't actually had that figure for long, and I know he's the old skinny.
Hurts.
And I would imagine that he's going to be based on the new body, which is cool going forward. They should always use that from now on. But it will be a bit weird, won't it? Because you get 1 in that pack. And you've probably got, if you were a fan of that particular 332nd, you would have wanted to army build him previously. So you're going to have like a bit of a mismatch going on.
Right.
Yes. I did find that a bit weird. You're right. They should just treat the army builder packs as proper army builder packs and just go, right, here is 4, maybe just 4, like the 212s. Don't need a waxer 12 times. I think you said, Chris, you would have bought loads more of them. I would have done too.
Yeah, I would have bought a lot. That's my favorite clone unit is the 212. Go with Obi-Wan Kenobi, of course, but would love to have a new episode 3 Obi-Wan Kenobi while I'm talking about that. But it's my favorite one. But it's just I can't pay that price and only get 3 figures and then have to eBay off or sell off, put all that effort in to sell off the extra one. I can't do it.
So leaving money on the table there a bit, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah. And this new one, you're right. It's 501st is my favorite. And to get 1, it's just a bit weird, that really.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not going to buy, if I want 20 of them, I'm not going to buy 20 of those packs to get 501st. It's just, it just seems a bit weird. Like, I just don't understand it, but there's a lot of stuff that they do that I don't really understand sometimes, but
I actually never opened the old. It's in my stack of to be opened. That's how recent the 332nd is. I don't have a display for it, so I have a stack of them I never opened.
I guess the one. No, I was just gonna say you could, if they do sell any of these in the main line, you could take your. Well, I have a solid case of both of those, right? The 501st and the 332nd. It's like you can pop the heads off, and once they come out in a mainline card, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen now. So that's just.
Yeah. And when you did get your 212s, did it have? Were you lucky enough to get the ones with the brow? You were, yeah. I think
I haven't bought those yet.
I think Andre, if he's in the chat still, he messaged me to say that the last 2 sets that he's bought from, so he bought a set from Pulse in the UK and it came with the black line, and then he bought another one just to make sure it wasn't a fluke, and that one came with the black line as well. So I might, because I do only have 1 set of those, because exactly the same reason as you, Chris, that you know, I don't need multiple waxes, but I do need the ones with the brow, so I'll probably at least get another 1 set of those just so I can have 3 decent 212s.
Someone mentioned on the Facebook group that they've ordered recently and they got the lacking, the painted brow. So it's like, oh man.
Oh really? Oh god, that's not good.
Yeah. What's the date stamp? It's like anything over day 106 or something. What is it? Someone remind us if you know in the chat. I forgot what it is, but it's like something like that. I'll be honest. I'm not huge on clone troopers. I do think they're cool, but I get more. I'm sure you guys do too. I get more excited over stormtroopers. So
yeah, which brings us on to the Ahsoka show. Like, when are we going to get what are they called? The night troopers?
Yeah.
Are they called that?
Night troopers, yeah.
Yeah. Did you write an article about that? I think you did, didn't you, Chris? Yeah.
Yeah, just saying. The article was really to say, Hasbro, please don't put Enoch in there. If you do a Night Trooper 4-pack, don't put Enoch in there. Just give us 4. You know, I think every single one was unique. You know,
yeah.
But if they give us 4 different, if we mix them up, it will make a
And as I was reading that, though, I was thinking to myself, maybe they shouldn't put the one with the grey helmet in as well. That's behind Enoch. Is that his name, Enoch?
Yeah.
Because there's most of them I think have got white with like different reds and stuff going on. But there's one that has one with
there's one with partial grey too, like a half grey helmet.
Yeah, he seemed a bit different to all the others as well. I don't know if he's like the squad leader or something underneath that main guy with the metal face. But yeah, the metal face guy, he needs to be. You're laughing. He needs to be carded.
The Darth Eddie said it would be the coolest and creepiest card at the same time.
Yeah.
There seems to be a bunch of stormtroopers, right, from the Mandalorian season 3, Moff Gideon's crew there.
Yeah.
And
the
now
Super Troopers,
now this show just
oh, that theme song is terrible. Droids has such an awesome theme song, and Ewoks has such a terrible theme song.
Yeah, but John, you are right. So the what are they called? What are those troopers called? Moff Gideon's troopers. What are they called?
I thought they were just Super Troopers.
They were like Mandalorian
Super Commando. I think Tim's right. I think it's
Super Commandos, something like
Commandos.
that. You know, where on earth are those? Like, you know,
too much new tooling.
It's just this is the problem with it. It's like, and we say this all the time. Like, by the time they get round to it, I won't care.
I already don't care,
and there'll be.
I don't.
Yeah.
There'll be other things that I want. That's like recency bias, you know. So, you know, like at the time, I was annoyed that the retro collection in the Black Series got Ned B, and you know, now I couldn't care less because there's other stuff that I want. You know, I want stuff that's like present and happening now. You know,
I want what I want to line now is getting very narrow. I want 2 things. I want, like you said, now. If I don't get that, I want something that builds out this stuff. Yeah. Advances this stuff. I don't want to trickle a new collection. I don't, you know. Here, Tim, here's your favorite. Here's an Andor figure. Whoop-de-doo. I want to advance my collecting. Now I'm going back to my...
Thing is, though, Chris, I am coming round to that thinking because, like, it is starting to annoy me that I've got, like, 2 figures from something.
Yeah.
And they just, you know... I've just got nothing for them to go with. You know, it's either, you know, why it starts to think, why bother? Why did you bother if you're just going to put that much, so little effort into it? Because something new is going to come around, and then
it's Black Series thinking in the vintage collection. I mean, I think Black Series tolerates that because it's a figure display. You're not setting up scenes with the Black Series. I just think it's Black Series thinking in the vintage collection, where they should think of what can we do as a collection within the collection and prioritize the tooling budget that way.
Yeah, just look at what they showed at Pulsecon there. All the figures for Ahsoka, and
So this entire time I've been off to the side doing my old man bifocal thing as I'm trying to read Imperial Super Commandos. That's what Moff Gideon's.
Imperial Super Commandos.
Yeah.
right.
They'd sell a ton of those.
Gary Moore says, Tim, you don't just like having one night of rent. So selfish.
So
Yeah, exactly. This is the point, though, isn't it? It's like
that's my whipping boy. Whenever I have to go to this, it's the one night of Ren. That's my whipping boy. Every article I write about this. Like I said, in fact, in that troop builder pack, I said, giving us one night trooper, one deck over night trooper would be as silly as getting one night of Ren.
Yeah, and there's two more that have are like that now, and that's the Bad Batch and the Inquisitors.
Yeah.
So we're getting the Grand Inquisitor, great, which is a bit weird now, isn't it? Because we're getting the one from the Obi-Wan series, when we're starting to getting all these Rebels characters and Thrawn based on the, and all this. So weird one, that one, especially as, when will we get any of the others? We probably won't. And as for the Bad Batch, I mean, when I looked at that figure, I thought this is a really nice. I do feel that the helmet is oversized still on that figure, even though it is animated. But
a little bit.
it is a great figure. But what does it do? Yeah. It doesn't go with anything, does it?
His likeness is so good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. We just need to fund more HasLabs, guys.
Yeah.
I just want to bring up this for Tony. Tony, mate, you're far too generous. Thanks very much for the super chat. He says, the best reveal yesterday was the Rex helmet. Underwhelming otherwise. By the time they give us Balin, Marek, Enoch in TVC, Ahsoka show will be a distant memory and lose interest in the figures and move on to something else. Yeah, exactly. That is the biggest problem with them dragging their heels, not getting things out quick enough, striking while the iron's hot, however you want to say it. And then we'll talk about the other scale in a minute and how the contrast between that, especially in yesterday's live stream. But thank you, Tony, I really appreciate it. Yeah, and the Rex helmet is very cool. I keep saying that whenever they bring a new one of those out, that's going to be the first one I buy. It started with the clone, phase 2 clone. That's going to be the first helmet that I buy. I think that's brilliant. And then I never bought it, but the Rex one I might have to dip in for the Rex one.
You don't have any helmets?
No, I just don't have the space for them. No, it's a lie. I have one that came in like a Hasbro, one of those Hasbro promo boxes. It's the Fett re-armored, but I never opened it. So it's maybe when I get my new room going, maybe I will open that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've never willingly bought one. No.
I got Red 5. I got Luke's helmet, Luke's X-Wing helmet, Fett's helmet, just from Empire Strikes Back, and I have a Death Watch Mando helmet. So that Rex one is pretty cool. It's gonna be hard to control myself. And then I do have a Mando helmet as well, but it's actually a cosplay one, not Hasbro. But,
yeah, I mean, I don't think they're not. I think they look great. I really do.
Yeah. The room.
It's just it literally is a space thing for me.
Yeah. Well, hey, really quick on that photo you took, is that like an addition to your collector room there that you're in?
So that I'm going to be moving from here into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that the room you've been working on for a long time, or?
Yeah, so we had a
Or is it
loft conversion with like a bedroom up there, and then
Nice.
that little room's my, like, because I work from home a lot now, so I'm going to
Yeah,
work in there, and then it's going to double as my collection room, and it's probably maybe 3 or 4 times bigger than this little box room, so it's going to
yeah,
be good. It's going to be good to get all my stuff in there, but I'm just waiting for a few other bits to turn up before I can actually start
nice.
moving the stuff in there. But yes, I'm almost there, man. Almost there. It's cool.
Awesome.
But yeah, let's get on to the Pulsecon thing yesterday, and some like stuff that I didn't really sort of, I don't know, I didn't take too well. I like the poll thing.
Yeah, I don't get it.
What was that all about? Like, is it kind of like them saying, yeah, well done for backing the ghost, everybody, but we're not gonna, this reveal isn't, this day's reveals isn't for you, so we're going to show you why, and this is why, because the Black Series is what it's all about. I don't know, it just felt like a bit of salt in the wound, that poll. What do you guys think?
Yeah, as a data person, I just thought that was the wrong setting to really get. I mean, they got a lot of votes, right? I forgot what somebody said. Was it like 7,000 at the end? I forgot. Augustine told me a number, but while that's a decent number there, I just don't get why they want to present it there during Pulsecon. Like, who's watching this and can actually see the poll right now to answer this question? So that was kind of a head scratcher to me, and it was a bit defeating to see the results. But I'll let Chris.
I mean, before Chris says what his opinion on it, I don't think it's something that we didn't already know.
Right.
Do you know? I think we all can accept that the Black Series has a wider, I don't want to call it fan base, because I believe that we're the proper hardcore fan base, whereas there's a lot more casual collectors in that line. I don't know who was watching the stream yesterday or whatever, but I don't think it was something that was really needed to be said or hit home, really. But Chris, what did you think?
It didn't bother me, to be honest.
No.
Just because when you confirm a truth, when you confirm something, even if it's something I don't want to hear, I'd rather know I'm wrong than think I'm right. Basically,
yeah,
is what it comes down to. And so this confirmed that I'm probably wrong about how the breadth of the vintage collection collectors. But what I compared it to with John earlier, and I don't mean this as an insult to Black Series collectors, but I think vintage collection collectors are professionals. We're the professional collectors. We get everything. We get the scenes, as you can see behind me, and see behind you, Tim, with the katana, and John with we're the professional collectors. We know what we're doing. Black Series collectors are the more amateurish collectors. Oh, I get this figure here, this figure, stick them all on a shelf. Maybe they go together, maybe they don't. More amateurish type collector, and there's always going to be more of that type of collector than the hardcore series collector. So it didn't surprise me. Was it the right timing? I don't know. Probably not. Especially if you look at the other polls that they did. Like the Marvel Legends ones, like, what do you want to see revealed today? For those polls were cool. This was like a divisive poll that they put up.
Yeah,
right. Exactly. That's a good way to put it. A divisive poll.
It didn't seem like it just didn't seem like a right thing to do. Like, it just.
I'll be honest. You've accused me of being a Hasbro shill earlier, because I will stick up for them. I think it's fair.
Joking, mate.
I know, but like, just like, there is a general tone deafness going, like that whole thing with the charity thing. That is like so bizarre. Where when you make a purchase on Pulse, you have to vote for a charity to get a donation from the $1 million that they're donating. I don't know if you saw this, Tim.
Oh, no. I didn't even see it when I pre-ordered some stuff. So
it popped up. It was almost like an asynchronous thing. Like, it popped up afterwards on me after I made the purchase. But I'm like, what are you thinking? That's not like voting for a charity. That's picking which 3 charities I'm going to screw over, instead of like donate to. I don't want to do that. Just split it up amongst all 4. I don't want to have to say, oh, this charity gets more than this charity. Don't put that on me. So I just don't. I don't know what they're thinking, from a PR standpoint with some of the stuff right now. And that's just a Hasbro. That's not the brand team. That's the Hasbro in general with that charity thing.
Yeah, there could have been so much more value in a different poll. Like you were saying, what do you guys want to see? Do you want to see more of this, or this? I don't know. Or last year they could have asked it, what do you think about plastic-free packaging? They could have asked that maybe 2 years ago. But...
Yeah. Can the poll go negative, John? Can you have a negative result? You're a data guy.
So Tony has put this in a better way than I put it, and he's saying it seemed that they put that poll up almost to justify to themselves why they devote a bigger budget to the Black Series. It was like, it's like a prerequisite to the fact.
They have numbers, right?
That's nonsense. They're a for-profit business. They don't have to justify themselves. The sales are going to justify to themselves where the budget goes. So, they don't have to put up that poll, which again then just begs the question: why did they do it?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It was almost like it probably wasn't intended this way, but it felt like, to me, it felt like a prerequisite to basically, you're going to be disappointed in this stream, and this is why.
Yeah,
that's how it kind of felt. Like,
but the irony there is that everybody seemed disappointed. Nobody was happy with it.
I mean,
maybe that small section of the Black Series prop replicas, because the Rex helmet seems to be the best thing from the stream. So maybe the smallest portion of that graph, the only people that were happy.
I mean, did you see Shin Ha-Ti? Oof. Oof.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Balin looked great though. Balin looked. Oof.
Yeah.
So
good. Thanks. Mackenzie, he says TVC Mackin. Other lines had polls for favorite characters. Star Wars team wanted their fans to battle each other. That's they're trying to almost stop. I remember Patrick saying to me, I think it was at Celebration, and I said something like, it's an off the cuff comment, and he kind of like said, yeah, well, we're not, one against the other, we're not comparing them or whatever. He tried to sort of put me in my place before I could go there with it, but it seemed to me that poll kind of went against that. It's almost sort of forcing that, almost trying to start it, but
I will say he said some great things about the sales of this to me at the Breakfast Brand preview, so
and that
hopefully
those are
thanks buddy, thanks.
Those are the big money makers. That's where they make their money, and I just hope they realize that we're not going to keep buying those things if you don't make the little things that go with them. If you don't support the figures, we're not. I don't know. I've heard, I don't know if it's true or not, I've heard Black Series doesn't make a tremendous amount of money, Vintage Collection doesn't make a tremendous amount, but vehicles can, if done right, vehicles can make a lot of money, and you got to make the figures if you want us to buy the vehicles. That one sold because we have everything that goes with it.
He said more than
except
the crest.
Except for Pelimoto. We don't have Pelimoto.
I was going to say, we need Peli. We need Peli Meshi, Joe Pesci Moto there.
And also the model of putting a figure in with it as well. That figure's already tooled up. They've made it before. It's it's already paid for essentially, and they can, the price of that vehicle goes up because they're putting that figure in there.
If you put up Josh B's comment, the point I was just making.
Yeah, Chris, you mentioned that.
What time?
6:24 my time. I don't know what's showing.
I think he just said it. The last comment I see.
And again, I've said this. I think I've said this in every live stream we've been on. If you can watch the,
so cool.
If you watch the G.I. Joe Toys That Made Us, Larry Hama says that the figures were loss leaders so they could sell the big ticket items.
Yeah. So make more of them, Hasbro.
Yeah.
It just sucks that these things are all part of the same budget for figures, right? Everything's all part of one budget. It's just I don't want it taking away, but it's all part of that world building experience. It's just frustrating. It eats into the figure budget.
And then we had the bit where, and this is again where I do agree with some people that are saying, you know, I think they're a little bit tone deaf. Like, it's just the bit where they like thanked everyone for backing the ghost. Thank you so much. You know, you've made a ton. But they're basically saying we've made a ton of money from this because you are all brilliant. We've made so much money. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You can see the dollars. Cha-ching, cha-ching. You know, thank you. And here's 10 Ahsoka figures in the black suit. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and thank you, casual collectors.
Yeah. I just thought, God, what a kick in the nuts. Like, you know, it just seems a bit, I don't know whether they're, you know, but I don't know. It just didn't seem like they were thinking about what they were saying when it comes to that. Like, surely you should, you know.
Does this mean, okay, the getting almost 22,000 backers for the Ghost, what does this mean for the future of the line? Does it mean anything? Does it help?
That's what we want to know. Yeah.
No.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean, what budget has already been determined? I mean, obviously we're really close to 24. They're planning, right, 12 to 18 months out.
Yeah, so 24 is locked.
Where do we see this? Hopefully, from a trajectory standpoint.
I just want to say something. You know, I've seen a couple comments say, you know, if vehicles make money, you know, why don't they shift to TVC? Well, we also have the flip side is, you know, we've heard people say, you know, don't do another HasLab for 2 years so I can recover from the Ghost. So yeah, they, you know, these things make money, but at the same time, the market won't do the same volume that, you know, figures do. So that's why they, you know, have to keep the Black Series. That definitely does volume. You know, I made a big deal about I'm mixing my Vizslas, pre-Vizsla, selling out on Amazon. You know, because I'll take a victory lap for the vintage collection whenever I see one. So I did that for pre-Vizsla. But if I was being honest, that sold. You know, they have that how many sold in the month, and that was at like, you know, 1K in the past month. Well, the Black Series one, which didn't sell out, was at 3K in that same time span. So pretty good, you know, apples to apples comparison there. So I do know that they sell more, and
they are definitely conscious about people's wallets. They've said as much, haven't they?
Can I make one more side point, just because we were talking about this, and I think, you know, as we talk amongst ourselves on other stuff, community stuff, you know, we're talking about other HasLabs and other vehicles. One critical piece of information that the fan base often leaves out is you can't just say I want this vehicle. You got to give a price range on that, right? When we say we want a figure, it's understood we're saying we'll pay $17 for this figure. But when we say a vehicle, that could be a wide range of a price range, and we have to provide that information to Hasbro as well. Like, we want, you know, for HasLab, we want a Death Star, and this is how much we want to pay for it. We want this ship, and this is how much we'll pay for it. Because as I've said before, we often leave that out, and it's critical. The Rancor, Black Series fans wanted a Rancor. They just didn't want to pay $350 for one. They wanted a $200 Rancor, $150 Rancor. So, you know, just saying you want something is enough. You got to really zero in on the price too.
Yeah, and Chris, check out what Catherine T.
Yeah, the $500.
That seems to be an ongoing kind of threshold right now. And it's like, yeah, everyone wants a Death Star, but what's that going to cost? It's not going to cost $500.
No way.
And
no way.
That's scary right now. And like, as we've talked about in these types of economies.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go back to only one here.
Did you see Randy's comment?
I'll come to it in a second. It said we made them millions. Sure, they'll make more with the extra 2 figures. Yeah, they will in the mural carded lineup. But it would have been nice if they just included them, given we smashed 17K. Yeah, or just like, you know, when they were doing that whole thank you piece, like, then say something afterwards about something that's coming. Like,
Right.
you know, throw me a bone for God's sake. Like, I don't know what it might be. Just something cool, like I don't know, a Phantom 1 or something. Like, oh yeah, because you know, whatever it might be, just something that's connected to it, or you know, I don't
They
know.
did, Tim. They told you Sabine's going to come with a swappable, more accurate helmet. You greedy mother.
And you'll only have to pay $20 for it this time.
$20. That's it. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I just, you know, I don't want everyone to get a big pat on the back. Oh, well done for, you know, but I just think it would be nice, like, you know, just to be conscious about these things. You know, just a little reward, like just, you know, because we are 3 for 3 of them now. You know, it's not as if we don't pony up for them. We do. We support them. We do all of their marketing for them. You know, it's a community thing. You're supposed to do that, you know.
And they make it hard to market. I still can't believe that you can't share the HasLab page and have it come up with a proper social media share card. If you want to share the campaign, it doesn't come up with a picture of the ghost or the bar. It comes up with a generic HasLab image or something or something else. It's like, help us help you.
We bring up good points here too, because you know there's things that they're just missing on opportunities. Like we never saw the packaging for the throne room.
Yeah.
You know, and then again, just everything being thrown at us here in the US right now. I mean, it's been the most expensive collecting month ever for a lot of people. But it just seems like there's simple opportunities to market things more and show packaging. I mean, not that they needed to do it with the ghost, but like show people more of the packaging stuff too. It's just, I don't know.
Hey, at least with the cross sell gone, we get to see the VC numbers right away now.
Yeah.
The back of most of them. We didn't get Revan, but we got to see the VC numbers for a bunch of stuff this time.
That's right. It showed the back of the card.
I missed I missed looking for that. Yeah.
Mr.
Stevie, he put something out, didn't he? Is that all he did? Like just looked at the back of that image.
Post more TVC, Stevie, Mr. Evans.
Get back involved.
Love it when you do. Yeah, he was great. Just speaking selfishly on the Facebook group, he was posting a lot of posts and his own graphics he was making. He was joking with me that he's a one-man marketing machine. So it's pretty cool.
I have to commend Howl Runner base at 632 for just saying that don't need a reward, just getting is enough.
Yeah, sure.
632.
It's just give us the whole crew. Now I'm gonna stop crying about that. But I know the price. The price is what they factored would be for just most of the crew. But
I think that's at times we could have that's a good attitude for us to have too. At times.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course. Like, you know, I'm glad that we're getting these things, but I just think, I don't know. It was just the way it was done that was irked me, because they on one hand they're thanking one half the community for doing this, that, and the other, and then they immediately cut to the next part where they're just showing a bunch of stuff which ultimately most people that collect our scale would want in that scale, and we just don't have it, and it just seemed a bit off.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm just talking.
I appreciate everything that we're getting and all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm not throwing my toys out the pram here. I'm just saying the way that was just delivered in that live stream just felt off. It didn't feel right, and I'm not alone, because I know a lot. You know, it's been going.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about a free stretch goal and stuff like that. You know, at some point, I do want Hasbro to make money. You know, so they'll do it.
Yeah. And that's what I meant about, like, you know, promising something. You know, not
that would
necessarily
pay for it. Yeah,
free.
Right.
Something
I
that,
get you.
know,
yeah.
but just something that we're going to get that we can look forward to add on to that. It's like, because this thing in this media
Yes.
was successful, we're going to make more things to go with that thing. That
we have the confidence to increase the budget this much, and this is what you're going to get because of this.
Well,
Exactly.
and they also said during that bit, we haven't done this in the Black Series in a very long time. So it's like they were getting rewarded for something that hasn't been done in a long time. And we had just backed something. So talk about, again, maybe they were feeling a little bad for Black Series collectors. Like these guys just got another successful HasLab and this big vehicle and these figures. Let's chalk them up a bit. Talk them up a bit and, show what good things they have going on.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you could look at it like that. I'm always going to be a bit biased for what I collect, and I could, maybe I don't look at it on that side of it. You're right. They could have been doing that. But it does for something that I'm like quite into, like I am enjoying the Ahsoka show, and when I see the characters in it, and I think, right, it's like I think Chris said, you're watching something and you're thinking that'd be a good figure, you end up watching it thinking about the figures more than enjoying the show. And this, and whether it's Andor or Ahsoka or whatever it may be, the other scale is the scale for that. When those are on, when Andor was on, they got 10 figures from the show. Ahsoka's on, they've got 10. They made, as you say, John, they made a point of it, saying, "Oh, I don't think we've ever, or in a long time, had this many characters from a show at this moment in time."
Yeah.
And then there's us with, not really very many from it, really, at the end of the day. So, or at least lacking the two coolest ones from the show, as we were saying earlier.
Yeah. A Jedi. Whatever he is.
Remember that was the rule of thumb. If it had a lightsaber, that's that you always aired on the side of the lightsaber when you're building out the line. No, we'll get a droid with a backpack with fused arms on the.
I think I'm going to make a prediction right now. Baylan Skoll is going to win the 2024.
Yeah, but and I wouldn't be surprised because, he's a super cool figure, super cool character, and you have that recency bias and what have you, and all that kind of stuff. But by the in 18 months, when they go, we watched these brackets and he came first in the bracket. 18 months later, I really couldn't care less anymore. I want the figure from whatever's on at the moment, unless it's like a legacy, like a character from the OT or whatever. It's just an obvious thing for them to do.
That's the thing I've been hammering a lot. If the character has a legacy, it's safe to release whenever. If it's new media, if you're not hitting that window, skip it.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait for the legacy to build, because it could happen. It could happen, and if it doesn't, then you're not wasting the budget on that. I still think Quill's the most amazing example ever. People were furious about that figure not coming out during season 1. And then by the time he came out, people had moved on. The character was dead in the media, and they moved on and didn't support it at retail.
Shame. Cool, very cool figure.
Yeah.
Your legacy, like your master's, is one of death and destruction.
And that, talking about Ugnaughts, we've still got that playset with no Ugnaughts. And when we're talking about the tooling for the Legacy collection, you've got 2 pretty good Ugnaughts there. I mean, whether you could just straight repack them or kit bash them or whatever you might want to do, they're there. And we still don't have them for that. And it's, we've got the Lando, we've got the awful Bespin Escape Leia.
We've got the Bespin Guards.
We've got the Bespin Guards. So they,
Lobot.
Yeah. So they did, but those two seem quite. That's what I mean about like thinking whether they do have that tooling or not. I don't know whether maybe the HK is because it is like a builder droid or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Marco Martinez, thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. He says, my family and I enjoyed the Ahsoka series and are getting the Ghost. What my kids wanted and backed it. I do want G.A. Thrawn from the Ahsoka show and hope to see the baddies revealed. Thrawn, Baylan, Shin, and even Enoch. Yeah, these are the ones 100% with you there, buddy. We want them all. What did you think of Thrawn in the show?
I loved all the dad bod jokes.
Thrawn
has a dad bod now.
I mean, obviously the voice is great, of course. You know, and they got that. You know, but it's just seeing him and speaking like that. I don't know. It just felt a bit odd, looking like that, compared to what when we've seen him in animated form or whatever. But yeah. What's they saying, Andor? They've got fat. They sit there.
He was hanging out with Bib Fortuna too much.
Yeah.
What did you think, Chris?
I just noticed that he was got the little tummy going on there. I'm like, oh, Thrawn's let himself go. I like him.
He's got a little muff. He's got a little muffin top.
Yeah.
So cute. He's so cute.
Oh dear.
Sabine upset me, man. Sabine, you're just such an unlikable character now. She's the
weakest part of the show for me, I think. Yeah.
Well, just I know I spoke to Chris about this a bit, but man, just no regard for the safety of her and Ezra and being truthful to him.
Like I said, Filoni loves the prequels, and to me, he's just hammering home the point of attachment because of Sabine's attachment to Ezra. She's bringing Thrawn back to the galaxy, so he's just hammering that attachment point.
And it's like everything you guys did in Rebels to get this guy out of here, just so you could see your brother.
And she didn't seem that excited to see him, did she? It's just, I don't know. That's a bit weird. I was going to say to you, Chris, actually, how long do you think it's going to be before the most wanted figure isn't Frog Lady anymore, and it's going to be Koopa Troopers?
Koopa Troopers! That's perfect. I was trying to think of what they're turtle-like, but they weren't.
I've already seen people asking for it.
They reminded me of a cross between
Koopa
Troopers and that thing from District 9. Have you seen the film District 9?
Oh,
have you not seen that? It's a great film, Chris. It's a good film. It's like sort of that insecty thing, like.
Oh yeah, the bad guy's in it, right?
Yeah, he ends up turning into one, doesn't he? Because he gets infected. Have you not seen District 9? That's a great film.
I saw that when it came out. Yeah,
I feel like you just spoiled it, so now I don't have to see it.
Gary Moore, Yoshi with a shell.
Yeah, that's what they were, Koopa Troopers. Yeah. Sometimes I watch things like that and I think, I'm not sure if I got that right. I don't know if I can watch this. Do you know what I mean?
I tell you what, they're really picking actors who look a lot like their characters, right?
Yeah.
Like Sabine, she looks, well, maybe except for Hera. Sorry, no offense to, but
Space Aladdin.
Ezra, the Space Aladdin. He looks a lot like Ezra. I was like, all right, man, he's got a sweet beard. How can you not love that? Come on. Yeah, Ezra looked great.
John, are you fidgeting with something?
Am I shaking? Is that loud? Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Just got really bad cramps. Sorry.
Well,
need more beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be the beer. Does beer do that to you? I think it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Dehydrates you, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Have some water. But yeah, anyway, so that's my grumble about the Pulsecon. Like, I think it's because and it might have been the same last year actually. I just think like for something, it's like it's their own con. It's their I don't know, getting all these people to present it. It's a big thing, and I don't know. It's a bit underwhelming, really.
It wasn't as big as it was, I think, when they first did it, right? Because not a lot was going on. They weren't going to a lot of cons, and
Yeah.
One of the exciting things we saw, right, 2-3 years ago, was the Razor Crest HasLab was launched on Pulsecon. So I think they've obviously scaled it down because of all the other events going on. So, yeah.
Plus, it's not just for us. I'm assuming you guys are like me. Pretty much only care about Star Wars. So it's like it's not like Star Wars has its own stream, and they're sharing just a bit part of the bigger picture. So you don't get
that's
the
a
full
good point. I didn't watch the rest of it, so I just not interested whatsoever.
Nope.
I caught the end of the Transformers one. I was like, I was just watching the Transformers one, thinking, God, these have really got plasticky over the years. Like when I collected them, when I played with them as a kid, they were like metal. They're really quality things, and they just look a bit plasticky to me these days. But
I watched the Joe one, and if my friend Mike is watching, he's gonna laugh. I was hoping they would announce Airtight, and they didn't announce it, so I will be saving money there. Although I have to get the dog handler. I can't think of his name right now. Was it Junkyard is the dog? Or no, Junkyard's the cat. Mutton Junkyard, I think. Somebody who's a better classified fan than me, point that out in the comments.
Do you collect those then, Chris? Do you buy the 6-inch ones?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
You got sucked in.
The HasLabs, the Hiss and the Dragonfly were two of my favorite vehicles when I was a kid. So the HasLabs pulled me into it. And I'm like, oh no. It's different than, I'm definitely not a completist. I only care about the ones I had when I was a kid. So I think I only had 82, 83, and 84 were the only years I collected as a kid. So that's why I'm comfortable getting into it too, because it's a finite collection for me. Like the bats and the python and all those figures I don't care about. Mutton Junkyard, thank you.
Okay then. People in the chat, this is your chance to fire any questions that you have for the last 15 minutes to my guests, Chris and John. So if you have any questions that you want to ask, then leave them in the chat and I will come on to them. Here's one. Dan Tueen, would a 3.75-inch version of the Archive line be a better sell at retail and for casual fans?
I absolutely think so. Actually, when the fan channel waves that weren't supposed to be showing up at retail were showing up at retail, they actually often in my area actually sold better than the regular main line.
Yeah, we have a ton of stuff being pipelined again that was already in the line. Andor, X-Wing Luke.
Yeah.
A bunch of Repacks 2.0 figures are coming back out, and some of them were mainline. I know there was some distribution issues, but I feel like that's happening already. Like they're just packing more repacks or reissues to fill in the line.
Well, the Luke one, because I was over in the States when that was on the pegs, and I remember seeing it around. And also we got him in that 3-pack as well. So,
yeah,
that
wave was. Go ahead, Chris.
I believe he was the only figure that was 2 per case in that wave too. That Revenge of the Rise of Skywalker wave. I think he was the only one that was two per case.
I feel like that case, that assortment sold through not sold through, but it was around for a couple weeks and then never seen again. I know one of the stores, I don't know if it was Big Bad Toy Store or Dorkside, somehow got like a shipment of, or maybe old stock they had found of Luke and I think Sorry Bliss out of like nowhere all of a sudden was in stock like a year ago. But so I mean I can see how those would be good choices to come back and come on. It's Luke. But
I'm
don't know.
gonna be happy. I'm gonna be happy to get a couple more of those loops,
Yeah.
especially because the flight straps break so easily. I need a few.
yeah, you gotta
spares.
be careful.
Yeah,
I broke
Yeah.
one after you had warned me too.
yeah.
I want the
I won't-
head.
I won't-
I want the head as well to put on the Hoth Luke that people have been doing the customs with.
Yeah.
So
There's a figure Hoth with. I'd love to have that one updated.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
love Luke.
I don't know anything about production and warehouses and all this sort of stuff, but if a figure is, if like a mold is being used, does that mean that it's out there for the factory to potentially use it again on a different figure, like a different head or something? It's like if the if the Luke is being used, the body or whatever, does that help the fact that it could be used for another figure at around the same time? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe what you're saying is right. That it does, because I know, like with certain things, just getting the tooling locating the tooling and
Yes.
getting it to the factory is part of the cost involved.
So that would
Yeah,
be
and if
pretty cool
they've-
if I used it at the time to do, I don't know, like another pilot or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they kit bash anything, they have to, source it wherever those pieces are and get them back together.
Yeah. We I think we all think there's a factory. It's not. There's several spread across China.
Right. We've got so many. We've got loads of questions here, so we're gonna have to like just answer them really.
Spitfire. There's a Dream Pack one.
Yeah. Lil Pookie says, how much would you think a braidless droid's boba should be priced at? Price always being in the eye of the beholder. So is that the one that's?
I'm pointing to John. He's the one to answer this.
Oh, this one?
Is that braidless? Is it?
Maybe.
Should it come with the braid? So is that like an error?
Yeah, it's an error.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, I think it's just how much someone would want to pay for it. I guess.
Yeah, probably between $100 and $200.
Here we go. Only one's put the last Rex pipeline. Why is it going to be bloody Bad Batch? Surely it should be an updated Clone Wars one. Is this another one of those Hasbro's thinking? Any of you want to take that one? I think we just agree with him probably, don't we?
Nick did one of my Q&A questions. It's really a statement when I go on the Hasbro Q&As.
It's been a while since we've been a regular release environment. Have you heard if anything new is in the works?
Not here.
I was just saying it's probably why the same reason that's the Book of Boba Fett.
Is the Luke X-Wing going to be on the new card back? I doubt it. I think it's just going to be a refresh, maybe. Do you think?
So we'll have literally the back of the card will be different. It'll be no cross sell. So
all right,
depends how technical you want to be about it.
Yeah,
I think you should buy an extra one. Buy an extra one just to be safe.
I'm a completionist and I'm currently collecting 3.75 inch and 6 inch Star Wars and 3.75 and 6 inch GI Joes. It's grueling sometimes, man. I do not envy you at all.
I hope you have a side hustle.
That was not a question, Tim. So I'm taking 1 point from House Gryffindor for that.
Question: would you accept TVC Baylan Skull and Shin Hati packed with an electronic roleplay item of the star map if that's how they could get the budget for the figures? That is a question that I never thought I'd read, but it's a question. What do you think?
No, because the price of it would be astronomical to get the figures down to a volume that the electronic roleplay item would sell for. The figures would be the equivalent of paying like $60 or $70 per figure.
In which year do you think Hasbro will finish the 96?
I don't want to think about after I'm dead and buried, so I'm not going to answer that one.
How much should the Boba throne room with no bib should be worth?
I'm pretty sure you posted this in the Facebook group, good sir. I think they're going for around 200 without bib. I could be wrong. Maybe a little less.
For once, I feel like the item is the more appealing of the. Usually you want more of the pack-in figure than the item. For this one, I think the item's the more appealing one.
Kevin Hughes says, do you guys think on the next Hasbro Q&A you can straight up ask what you speculated earlier, as in what will the HasLab success mean to the TVC budget moving forward? I'm sure one of us can ask that.
And hopefully it will get approved.
Yeah.
Right.
What's
up, Kevin?
Noel says, whatever happened to getting the figures and vehicles before the show came out? We didn't even get all of the Knights of Ren. Hasbro's really fallen off these days. I think that's a lot to do with Disney and how I've heard that it differs from director to director. Some are really cautious and keep everything in-house and don't let anything out at all. And then others are a bit more free with it, I guess.
And again, just to be fair too, is you like we say we want these things timed for the show, but it's not. This isn't a discussion between Hasbro and ourselves. We do have the retailers in between, and they might be like, no, I can't take this. I don't want this many waves. I can't take them. As many waves as you want to send me. So they do have the restriction that this is going through retail, and they're part of the equation, and they definitely don't want as much as we want it.
Marshall Ibarra says, do you think the figure dream packs could happen?
I wish they keep talking around it. I mean, they keep saying HasLab keeps evolving. It's something we've looked into, we consider. It just seems like they want some kind of vehicle or play set with it to happen, right? Like we just saw with the Ghost.
And I think where like myself is like part to blame. When you think about the stuff, do you want a figure dream pack? Absolutely. Oh, do you want a Death Star? Yeah, give me the shiny Death Star. Like if you had to do that one, choice, it's like I always fall in the trap. Give me the big thing. I keep saying I want a figure dream pack, but do you want a new Imperial shuttle? Oh, yeah, that's what I want.
I just wish they could do them side by side or in tandem.
Yeah, but you just saw what we went through with this. Some people
deep pockets.
Yeah, some people want more HasLabs. A lot of people are saying slow it down. And
what's your favorite trilogy?
There's only one.
There's only one.
Repacks and Soul, real quick. That's not a question. Sorry. Don't Chris tell
2
me.
2 points.
House Gryffindor.
SBS Production says you're suddenly in charge of a full wave of TVC. Each figure is from a different show or movie, and at least one figure has to be a repack. What are you picking? We did this on one of my live streams, and we're going to do it again. I've said to loads of people have asked me to do this again, and we're going to do it. But if you guys can quickly think of who you want.
So we're going to have to do partial tools. We're going to be realistic, right? If I could do all new tools, it would be easy. So
I think that's what we did on my stream, didn't we? We said one had to be newly tooled, one had to be like a refresh, one partial tool, or whatever. I think we did. Try to make it like a wave would be in real life, sort of thing.
So can I have 2 new tools?
Yep.
So I would do Luke episode 4 and Anakin episode 3.
Oh, jerk!
What?
I like those.
You can pick the same ones, man.
I mean, repack would be a stormtrooper. That's easy. That could be going every wave. I would do a shock trooper probably. Take the new clone mold, do a shock trooper for a repaint. And I'm not good at figuring out partial tools. I'm not good at that. Oh, maybe. Can we take that whatever that final showdown Obi-Wan? Can we make an episode 3 Obi-Wan out of that? If so, that's what I'm doing. Oh no, that's 2 from Revenge of the Sith. I broke the rules. I didn't mix up the sources.
What's the other house of that's not Gryffindor?
Ravenclaw, Slytherin.
There you go. I'm taking a point.
Slytherin.
I only know this because I just finished Hogwarts Legacy. That's the reason I know this. So I couldn't even do I need more time to formulate that one.
John?
I'm with you, man. I want a New Hope Luke. If I'm gonna be different, how about this? A New Hope Han Solo. What am I getting? 1 all new or 2 all new?
I did 2.
They just have to be from different medias.
Yeah.
Luke, I want Balin's skull. There we go. I would love an Anakin, by the way, Revenge of the Sith all new as well. So shout out for that figure. My kitbat or my partial tool would be a Barada figure leveraging Kithaba.
Nice. I like your thinking.
And what else am I doing? A repack. How about repack Kit Fisto? I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of legacy figures we can talk to too, but that's one from TVC that I think could be a solid repack.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything?
No. And I need more time to think about it. So I'm not
throw a repaint in. Come on, throw a repaint.
A repaint.
The Mandalorian Judge. I beat you to it.
I'm terrible with that stuff. I'm not doing it. I don't know. What's some more good repaints?
Oh, you could have an all new Bosk. Partial tooling for Oshek. There you go.
Yeah. Amazing. And then repaint him for the comic so we can get all the from that cover.
And then you could have the Spaceman as well from the Cantina.
Ooh. Could I say 2? There's no. Anyway. Terrible with repaints.
Do I break down and pick up the throne room? Yes.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's still it's still available. It keeps going in and out. Yes.
Oh man, did you customize that?
Yeah, it's not hard at all.
What
helmet? From Boshek?
Is it the Boshek helmet?
It's the Boshek helmet. Yeah.
Oh,
brilliant.
That is cool.
I love Bosk, by the way, Tim. So I would love to see an updated Bosk.
Yeah, I say it a lot on my channel. Like, he is a really good figure, but if you're looking at the modern articulation, he could be loads better.
So what were your 2 new?
Mine, I wasn't really playing along. I just, I think I said an all new Bosk, which would then all of mine was from the original trilogy, which wasn't allowed. So I was supposed to pick them from different things. So I already messed up. But I'm with you. I talk about Anakin quite a lot. I've never really been a fan of the Anakin that we've got. I'm not a fan of the head sculpt particularly.
It's a weird kit bash too, and you get the really long arms that are way too long.
We technically, I know it was kind of an error, right? The first one was Anakin Skywalker, and it was changed to Darth Vader because it was on that Darth Vader card when he had turned to Vader. So it'd be nice to get him, with his cheeky little smirk, maybe sitting there, and then seeing one again with Sith eyes would just be so cool. So, especially with photoreal.
Yeah.
Should Hasbro revisit themed waves? It looks like they're moving in that direction after the A New Hope reveals longer term trend. Yeah, that particular wave does look 90% OT, doesn't it?
Yeah,
episode 4. It's all episode 4.
Yeah.
Pipeline Vader, Leia, R2, Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
And
Luke Pilot.
Luke Pilot. Piolet. I am the Piolet. I'm the Piolet. I think Brett on FET had that.
Yeah, I do think theme waves would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I agree.
But it gets back to what I was saying earlier. If theme waves would force them into giving us figures that somewhat interact together right at once.
Do you think the big Millennium Falcon will be re-released for the 50th anniversary of A New Hope? I personally think if it ever was to be re-released, that's probably the time that they would do it.
Yeah.
God knows how much it would cost then.
Yeah, because what was it last time we bought it? Was it $299? It was $400.
Yeah.
So inflation's gone up a lot since then.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
And it's not just inflation either, is as well. It's like shipping costs and production costs, and
They might have to strip out the electronics to keep the price down.
Point.
Denny King, John, thanks for going for my Velkin. What's your next background character passion project?
Well, I'll
Barada.
just say I was in a long line of people clamoring for this figure. So,
To be fair to you two guys, like the two guys that I have on the live stream now, you two guys were the main people championing for that figure, and I thanked you in my video when I reviewed him, because
yeah,
I don't think if you know, I know Chris has been going on about it for years, and you know, as they say, they look at polls and votes and all this kind of stuff, and you know, and maybe we wouldn't have got him if you hadn't have done that.
No, I don't think it would have happened if John didn't kick it up again. So I think the praise is correct there.
Yeah.
So I would say, background character. Again, I'm just gonna go back to Barada. I'd love an updated Barada to put on my skiff. Him and Pope Snick. And who's the other guy there? The other alien that people.
Yatsoren, that's the one people.
Yatsoren.
Yeah.
Let's go with Yachts. Were you gonna pick that one, Chris? I know you're a fan.
No.
Okay, I'll say Yatsoren. All new, never done before figure Yatsoren.
Which one's he? Is he? He's not the other.
He's the green Nick
He's
though.
the green Nikto,
Yeah,
right?
he looks a little like Giron, but
Yeah.
a little different, drab.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Neil
What about
Lowry
you guys?
says,
What
"Hi
about you
guys,
guys?
thanks,
Sasha-
Neil, buddy."
Sasha
He
Teal.
says,
Oh, Sasha.
"Hi guys, I was late to the live. I'm sorry if you've covered this already. How do you feel about two figures packed on one card? For example, Chopper and Jason. So that's Hera's son, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about? When was the last time we got two figures on one card? Was it the Pit Droid and the
Mando and Grogu.
Oh yeah,
No, it's not a figure. I forget to acknowledge that Grogu is a figure. It's an accessory.
It's an accessory.
It's a Polly Pocket.
It's a Polly Pocket. Yeah, bro.
you expected to open in one of those micro machine heads. Like,
Colorado
Like
got
the three
Crow.
packs. I want the classic 3-packs to come.
Yeah,
back.
special action figure sets.
yeah, I've always liked those. They're very cool.
Yes. Why is that one so valuable?
I don't know.
It's that one and the one with Bosk in it that are the two I think that
Really?
go for the most. Yeah, yeah, but they're very cool.
Yeah.
I don't want Jason.
I
Sorry.
think we've done that. Dream packs. We've dream packs. I think I'm getting repeated questions now. But we have been going 2 hours, 7 minutes, so I don't want to keep you guys any longer. I just want to say thanks for joining me once again. It's always awesome to have you two guys on with me. Shame Jason couldn't be here. I think he was busy at a soccer tournament or something with one of his kids.
'Tis the season.
Yeah, but we wish you well, Jason, wherever you are. And yeah, I think that's it. I think there is lots more questions, but we do have to stop because it is 10 past midnight here. We've been going for 2 hours, 8 minutes. So thanks guys for coming on to the show once again. Really appreciate it. I want to thank everybody that's watching as well. It's been awesome having you here in the chat. Rats Tyrell and the Pit Droid. Thanks, Adam. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the one. So, Mr. Miko, where can people find you?
Yes. So, like my signature says there, SW, the Vintage Collection Facebook group. I was also mentioning to you guys, obviously I've talked to Chris a lot about this, getting his guidance, and both of you with your websites are such role models. So I've put together a website. I couldn't think of anything fancy, so it's just johnmiko.com. I'm trying to build it out. Bear with me, but that's my new thing. So
Yeah,
please check
visit
it out.
that website, everybody. John Miko is a brand in itself, John. So
That's right, baby.
and
Andy and the tuna. Yeah, Andy and the tuna. Oh, but a tuna is magical. Andy and the tuna.
You said you had one on me as well. I never saw it.
do you know what? I was looking for it today. I was looking for it, and I couldn't remember what I got for you because I've got others for like.
That show.
Most of you know me for this.
We've got that one.
Johnny Mustache.
We've got one for
Somehow
Evan.
Palpatine returned.
we got these things prepared. There's another one for you, Chris. Actually,
Tuna! What's up, tuna? We gonna have some tuna for dinner? I bet you're sick of tuna, right? Probably have tuna every night. All right. Tuna.
Oh, that's such a great episode, too.
I love that show.
Oh, that's great, dude.
And I had one for, I think I don't know if I ever did this one, but when Nick
The one
had
for
Nick on
Tyler.
the show,
Hello there.
there you go.
Nice.
But yeah, I think it should have been the original OT Ben Kenobi for him. But yeah, so there you go then, guys. Sorry, Chris. Where can everyone find you, buddy?
Right here. Get rid of that parenthesis. Get rid of that one there. Get rid of that space. Then put a .com on the end, and that's where you can find me. You can also at Chris Swansky on Instagram if you want a little bit more direct contact. And then
you got your own Instagram and the Bantha Skull one as well, yeah?
Yeah, and all the socials for Bantha Skull are right on the page. So if you go there, you can find all the main social accounts.
Yeah. If anybody in the chat does not visit the Bantha Skull website, then where have you been? You need to visit the Bantha Skull website. Chris writes awesome articles on just your general thoughts at the time, don't you? Like, about the state of TVC, your wants, your needs, things like that. And it's always an interesting read. And you always get loads of comments, people, interacting and everything.
Yeah.
So it's a great place if you are, if you're a TVC collector, it's a great place to just hang out anyway. But
thank you, Nick.
Also visit John Miko's
Absolutely.
website as well.
Absolutely. You're seeing it. And
oh god, we got to update those and do some
what's
more.
What's the other one I always mess up?
Missing in Action figure.
Missing in Action has for a decade plus been an inspiration.
Yeah. All right then, folks. Thank you so much, John and Chris. And this has been another episode of the Vintage Collection Show. I promise I will be doing more of these, especially when I get into my new room, which shouldn't be too much longer. Hopefully there'll be lots more to talk about, more positive things in the future. This has been a bit of a, not too happy after. It's funny with these live streams, isn't it? Sometimes you're like, woo, everything's great. And then other times it's like, ugh, the world's ending. So, yeah. All right then, guys. I'm going to sign off now. We're going to exit. So thanks for watching, everybody. And we shall see you soon.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.